The journey with Sai starts with love that you experience unconditionally, which in turn gives you happiness. Then you start developing trust. Okay? And then you develop fearlessness, because when you know someone is there to protect your fall, you develop fearlessness. And then you start cultivating faith, which helps you to work towards oneness. And that's going to be my talk for tomorrow. So, you come to Swami because he has unconditional love for you. That's how you all come in. Literally every one of you who spoke touched on that. Then your journey starts. We all think we are a devotee trying to experience oneness, but it doesn't start straight away there. You have to have the trust to take a fall, knowing that he will hold you. And my journey has been trying to work on that aspect, and I'm still on a journey trying to experience oneness, which comes in pockets of moments. And then we have to hold on to the trust to go back to the path of trying to experience oneness again and again. Which is why we have these retreats, which is why we have these talks, which is why we have all the activities in the Sathya Sai organization. Whether it's bhajans or seva, someone was experiencing. I always tell that to my Balvikas kid, when we do Narayana Seva, whenever you serve food, see the Narayana in front of you when you say Sai Ram and offer it. With a smile, not a castor oil face. There, next. It happens. We've all experienced it. I don't want to say where we experience it, but we do experience it when there is a crowd and when there is a time. Right? But how do we experience oneness when we see that Narayana in front of us and serve with a smile and say Sai Ram and genuinely experience it? And that is what I had this wonderful young adult speak about it, which really brings me a lot of positivity to feel that those experiences are still possible without a physical form walking and showing you and waving hands and the curly hair and whatever that comes with darshan. You know, darshan is an experience, and those who have had it have the bliss. Those who have had it have also had a bliss that the form was not there. It took a while to recharge. But the only thing permanent, Swami said to Kasturi, I go back to the same speech which made a big impact. The only thing that Swami cannot control is the process of creation and destruction. Death comes with life. Sorrow comes with happiness. It is the moments in between when we need that oneness to experience bliss. Right? And that has been my journey with Sai. And when I look back at the rear view mirror, I wonder how Swami knows how long it takes for one to face a challenge in life and still hold on to the thin rope called faith. So, someone went and told Swami, I need a super natural miracle. And he said, I've already given, you are my miracle. What better miracle than yourself? I don't need to create vibhuti, I don't need to do all this. You are a miracle, my friend, my child. There cannot be a bigger miracle than you. Everything that happens in your mind and still you being able to connect to me, that's a miracle. The miracle that happens in your mind, not in mine, says Swami. So he says, if you want to really feel me, within and within, as we become thin and thinner, we become he. I keep repeating it again and again because that has to be the mantra for the centenary. Within and within, as we become thin and thinner, we become he. And in the same talk that actually was relayed by Kasturi's grandson, Swami, there was this incident where a child was to be named. Swami said, I'm coming for the naming ceremony. The house goes into gala preparation and they decorate the altar, and then right behind Swami's chair, the child cross underneath, there's a snake. The snake bites the child is dead. Kasturi is anguished and he runs to the Lord. Lord! Now he didn't come. The family said, "Your child is crying. Swami is coming tomorrow morning. Nothing moves here. Everyone wait for Swami." Swami came the next day, blessed everybody, and went back. And Kasturi went and asked, "Swami, what is this? You said you will come, you will name the child, and the child has died under your seat." Swami said, "Hey, if creation and destruction are to stop, God has no work. So creating you as the biggest miracle, making you ready to face challenge is His duty and your responsibility. And that is why we have the Sathya Sai organization. I repeat, because tomorrow I'll show you the connectivity. Every wing of the organization that has been created is for you to experience the three things. Experiencing love. Don't just stop with that. I like receiving love so much and say, "Fine, I'm okay." Let a miracle happen, I will develop trust. Until then, my father told me to go for bhajan, I go for bhajan. They make me do this, I do that. Until you experience that trust doesn't happen. Finally, all of us who mistake trust and faith, we fool ourselves calling ourselves devotees. Which is why Swami said, "I'm still searching for that single devotee." Because only when the oneness happens, then that faith is unshakable. And you experience Him in every singular moment that you breathe. Then you call yourself a devotee. Until then, you are trying to be a devotee. It's a trying to be versus being. A lot of difference. Let's first start looking at, again, one more point. What a wonderful Lord. Just looking at what all Swami has to do to just keep us afloat. And that will connect to the story that I would like to say of that.
What a wonderful Lord. What a wonderful Lord. Sai Hamare. 1,000 mothers in one. What a wonderful Lord. Sai Dil Ke Pyare. With love that is bottomless. What a wonderful Lord. Sai Hridaya Nivasi. हर कदम पर साथ चलने वाले, walking with us, being inside. What a wonderful Lord, Sai Sarvadhikari, the one who heals silently, जो बिना कहे हर आंसू को मिटा दे. Never a lonely moment for the connected. We may forget Him, पर वो हमें कभी नहीं भूलते. He always holds our hands, even when the path feels unclear. What a wonderful Lord, Sai Prem Ke Sagar, with infinite grace and boundless love. तुम हो रोशनी जो अंधेरे में राह दिखाए. तुम हो सहारा जो कभी नहीं छोड़ता. What a wonderful Lord, Sai Hamare.
So with a Lord like this to walk with us in our journey of life, nothing should be impossible to face. And that's the story that I would like to relate. So back in 1983, one fine morning in Coimbatore, from where I am, a door knock, there's a knock on the door, and an old lady lands up saying, "I want to meet Anusuya," who happens to be my grandmother. She was all of 52 years coming on a plane from Penang to Singapore to Chennai, and my granddad passes away on her shoulder, and she's to come perform a wedding. And out of the blue, she's staying with me, her grandson, her daughter, back in Coimbatore, leaving everything in Penang. And she was living a life where every day she would go and pray for others. All of 52, a life that had early beginnings with Rukmini Devi Arundoil in the Theosophical Society, to a life in Penang hosting who's who visited Penang. It could be Prabhupada, it could be M.S. Subbulakshmi, suddenly losing her husband with nothing to do, finding purpose in going to the temple and praying for others. So this lady knocks on the door I would like to meet so and so. This is Sai Baba, he has sent me to you. And he wants me to listen to your story. My grandmother says, all I do is go to the temple every day and pray for others. She says, I'm 75, I lost my husband, I have a beautiful big house, and I'm crying in front of him. He says, stop crying. I've given you everything. You have me. And still you are crying. Go and meet Anasuya and listen to her story. And she was 52. And this 52 has got an impact later on in my life. And the story has an impact on my life too. And before I knew, I was in Bal Vikas. 1983, the first World Bal Vikas rally happens in Prasanthi Pilgrimage. Unbelievable experience. I mean, if people complain about accommodation here, you should have seen it there. We were all in tents on the sands where all the blocks are today, all the circular blocks. And I went there slightly feeling shaken. My mother thought it was just bows of going for the first time, just 10 years old. And here we are at Prasanthi, and the first darshan of Swami happens on Christmas Day, and I thought I saw God. That's it. All the people holding the candles were angels. This is what I've been told of bedtime stories. This is God. No questions. And in that trip, I had such heavy jaundice. But I didn't know I had jaundice, and I was having a vadai. And if there's a doc, you know, all the food that I should not eat was what I was eating every day. Going out and doing all kinds of stuff for a rally until my whole body was literally yellow. That the state president of Tamil Nadu, Bal Vikas, said, Venkat, you stay with me in my this thing right in front of Purvi Chandra Auditorium. And I started living on fruits. And suddenly they said, this boy has got nothing to do. Can he give a speech in front of someone? 10 years old, giving a speech. And I couldn't speak that fluently. They said, we'll write it for you. Shalom, let's learn. So I really learned the speech. And speaking was something that was quite there. I didn't realize it then. So I went, and then it was a competition where you have to go on each round with another boy of another state. So it was Tamil Nadu, Kerala, all that happened. Finally it was me and a boy from the Far East. And both of us were sitting down, and he was telling me, Sairam, where are you from? I said, I'm from Coimbatore. You know, it was such an overnight journey. We came by a bus, we sang bhajans. And he said, do you know how long it took for me to come? 4 days. Huh? Where are you coming from? Some foreign land? No, I'm coming from India. Where? Somewhere in the northeast. He has to take hitching a ride to go to a bus stop, which was itself like 4 or 5 hours. And then he has to walk, and then he has to catch another train or bus somewhere, then catch a train to Calcutta to Bangalore to Puttaparthi. The guy has taken 4 solid days to read Prasanthi. So the only prayer that came to my mind was, Swami, let him speak. And so it did happen, he spoke. But I got to sit in the front row. So many of you spoke about, being that you are genuinely destined for the first row. And immediately, your monkey mind starts working. His speech didn't happen, maybe I should sing a bhajan. Now, I decide what I want to do in front of Swami. That's how you decide on your devotion, whatever. So Prasanthi happened where 2 things that did happen was, despite the illness, he took full care that I did a rally. It was one of the best Bal Vikas conferences ever that has ever happened. With only love. They collected 75 rupees for food. Then Swami said, mother's house, how can you collect food? Return everybody's money. So they returned everybody's money as well. And we were all whacking vadas, dosas. I mean, everything was bottomless there. Right? Nothing goes by measure. But the camaraderie, all of you went to Bhakti Yatra, the being together, the oneness that we felt being together motivated many of us. And incidentally, I come from a place in Coimbatore called Sai Baba Colony. So there's a Sai Baba all through in my life. And I've met the real Sai Baba, and then my Guru search stops. This is Guru, this is God. Was there a Pada Namaskar? Was there a conversation? Was there any word from Swami? Nothing. Nothing. I was just one among the crowd. In that massive crowd, I could get a unidirectional love that came straight from him into my heart. No conversations, no interviews. So then I said, hey, I like this love, man. What shall I do to get this love closer? Becoming a student was the easiest way. I had Bal Vikas in me. I never realized the power of Bal Vikas. So I wanted to be a student. So every week, so April comes, we were all blessed in Coimbatore. We didn't have to blink an eye. Coimbatore, Swami had no choice whether he had to go to Ooty or Kodaikanal. Sir has to come into our city. So we guys were like, you know what? You guys, you're not so lucky, but Coimbatore, Swami will come. But anyway, I'll say one more incident later of why infighting is to be avoided, because it happened in Coimbatore where infighting at the center resulted in Swami not even touching an inch of our district. Swami went through mud roads because there was infighting at the center. I'll talk about that tomorrow, unity. Swami will make you feel when there is no unity in yourselves. Forget about thought, word, deed. That's too much. Basic unity has to be there, without which he will not come into your, he won't even come into your radar. He will go away, and you can be fine with that until you realize and get united. When there is not unity, Swami will make sure you stay as far away from you. So fast forward, I wanted to be a student. I went to Ooty, wrote many letters. Swami took those letters. Now what does a letter mean? When Swami takes it, it has to happen. No. Swami takes a letter to make you happy also as a fact. That is what happened to me. Because all my letters said, Swami, I want to study in your school, but they say I have to repeat a class. I will not come repeating to class. You please make sure that I get admission in the same class. Swami will smile and take a letter, and I write to Prasanthi Pilgrimage, they say, we'll have to repeat a class. So one thing you have to understand, system and Swami never breaks system. First learn that. We are all used to, even if you go to the temple, there is no queue, we will need one chit note, I want to go to the front. Not too many in front of you. Still they want to go to the front. No, that is our attitude. We always want a middleman to take us faster. Swami says, when there is a system, I don't touch the system. Every student will accept what I'm saying, because the system was a system, Swami was a Swami. He never confused either of the two. Right? So here we went. I never became a student, but I realized I had Bal Vikas. And that is your SSC. And all of you, I want to tell you, today when I teach Bal Vikas, there are so many of them who have got their own formula of what is to be taught in Bal Vikas. The only thing Bal Vikas teaches you is my second topic, learning to be fearless. When you are fearless, you will have truth inside you. The values will flow. What you need to be is fearless to face anything in life. Swami was a perfectionist in whatever he did. He always saw the purpose of what was being done rather than just the act. The darshan has to make you happy. He is love, but he still takes care of his physical self to ensure that you don't have this iota of feeling uncanny about seeing a form. So, in the years of Bal Vikas, the progression happened where the idea of being a student went away. So 3 things, I put list of demands to Swami. I need to sing in front of you. Chalo. Happened. I need to have an interview. Chalo. Happened. And all in weird ways. The only pre-qualification all this happened was because I was a Bal Vikas student. I need to get a prize from you. Happened. Yesterday I wanted a hat. Today it happened. All you need is to do and think. And it happens. And he's shown this. Now always when it happens positively to you, you like it. I'll also tell you what happens when it comes the other way. Right? So, there was the year I had won the Bal Vikas competition in the state for elocution, bhajan, quiz. 3 years Swami never came. One fine day he decides to come to Abbotsbury. That was the last Abbotsbury visit of Swami. Abbotsbury is the place where Sun TV has got their office today. And those days we used to have competitions at Samiti to district to zonal to finally in Sundaram, final culmination, praise to Swami. Every year that I had won, Swami decided not to come. Finally, the year he decided to come, I was in the front because I was receiving the maximum prizes. I thought, oh yeah, all my wishes are coming true. Guess what happened? That year, Tamil Nadu decided to have 11th standard public exam. So half the people who had to get the prizes didn't come. Name number 1, nobody is coming. Name number 2, nobody is coming. Name number 3, nobody is coming. And finally, when name number 4 is to come, Swami is already angry. He said, let's go to distribute. And he walked out, and we were tearing uncontrollable. Swami, not fair. Not my fault. I don't deserve it. And then he comes to us and says, big boys cannot cry. So Tamil pandradhu pannita appo paadadanu solreenga nyayama. Then now we want me to say, grow up. We were shamelessly crying. We were there to receive prize. We are no more school students. And Swami comes and says, special gift for all of you. So he goes and somebody had come from Tirupati and given him some solar watch. He says, wear it. And we were saying, Swami, look at us. You think I can wear? I'm not like a 5th standard, 6th standard kid. So he comes back. You boys, grown up, metal watch for you. So he got a watch. To me, that was the prize. Then I had to go collect all the prize from my agent General Mahadevan later on. That evening, my guru, one late Ponappan, he was instrumental in becoming what I am. My gurus, Balvika's gurus are everything that I owe to. Because those of you, I do not know how you look at your gurus. Later in life, when you remember small lessons, you will remember it. That is the beauty of being a Balvika's guru. And I was reminded of my Balvika's guru, and we were standing there. We had a 9 o'clock train to catch, and we had gone to Gindi, Shri Baba Kovil, all that. By the time we are coming for darshan, it is 5:45. Big boss has to arrive at 6 o'clock. So, Big boss is already there on time, ahead of time. We are late. So, my guru goes and tells, we both tell the Sevadal, Sairam, morning we came to get prize, evening we are late, they are not letting us go. He says, no problem, Sairam, come. Take us straight to the front row. Front row, and I have to leave at 7:30 to the station. Swami is going to give a talk. And Swami is walking, I did not know what to do. Then we did not know what they said and why are we there. As we were sitting, the Sevadal comes and gives everybody, don't stand up, don't do this. Then he comes to the two of us and says, you are Swami students now. I don't have to tell you anything. Now there is a bigger guilt. Somebody has gone and said, we are students and we are sitting in the front row. And our man has to start walking and coming in, and we get up and go and catch the train. Because we have the train tickets for all the Balvika students traveling with us. So Swami came and gave such a big stare. He knows that you guys are here, but you wanted to come, I have given you. So he says, we got up as he was giving darshan and left the front row. But yet again Swami said, if you want to be a student, you are a student wherever you are. I didn't tell you, the first duty that we got as a Balvika student in Coimbatore was chappal duty. That is the first thing that we all get as Balvikas. What? Give tokens, collect chappals and keep. You won't get to see Swami and all. The next year, which I didn't tell you, I wanted to singing with a probability that unless Swami is 1 hour late, you are definitely not going to sing. Because it's ordered that you are far away. And it so happened that the song, Swami came slightly late, there were a lot of people to Coimbatore race course. He comes in, and the song that the moment he arrives right in front, he stands in front of me and says, sing. That was my chance, I didn't realize. And I sang where I have a video, which I managed to see after many years. The Swami has not moved in front of me because somebody gave me a lady's scale. And I was singing a song that's going to croak, and I'm out. Then I'm having a conversation. Today, if I croak, you are done for. So the man stands right in front, waving his hand, and I'm like, next line, next Punyanam, Pavitranam, Karuna Sindhu. I know you're not going to even hit. See, Deena Bandhu was next to impossible. But he stayed the full length in front, ensuring that you hit the note. And you are happy. And when I finish the line, he's looking at me and saying, are you okay? And I go, till today, I have not been able to hit that note. Again, and the third year, week of my university degree, Swami comes to Coimbatore, and our zonal president Sachuanna we were really very, very close. Thanks to him. One thing that used to happen, I used to be envious of all of you going to Parthi Yatra. You know what we did at Balvikas then? Every year Swami comes to Coimbatore, every year we will be commissioned to put up a play by Sachuanna. All we did in our holidays, everybody will come to my house, no jamming, writing a play, musical, all with the anticipation of staging it in front of Swami. I was 10 and this happened until I was 16. Finally, I staged a play last December in front of Swami, because all the years Sachuanna had the happiness of seeing the play, and every time we saw the play, Swami saw it. We never put up any play. That was Swami's play to create a unity amidst us. There was no play. Gratification is not when you perform in Kulvanthal. Gratification is when you work together. That is the magic you don't realize that happens subtly. So all this happens, and that year we got to serve food to Swami. And I didn't tell you something. In my 12th standard, I did go to Prasanthi Nilayam, write the entrance exam. I've got a Sathya Sai Diploma in Human Values, which is what they give you after writing exams for your Balvikas. Beautiful certificate signed by Swami. I have every precondition that I know that I can't be rejected at least up to an interview. But my mind was saying I should study engineering. Science and all is too beneath me. And God knows where this thought came. But you know, as a dutiful student, that's why I say many of you come because you are in the flow. Right? So I went and wrote the entrance exam. Everybody else who wrote with me stayed back. Next day I walked out of Parthi. Neither did I study engineering in my life. Neither did I become a student. But the last year when Swami came in and we were serving food, we were told, you cannot talk to Swami, you should walk. And there were about 5 lines of students sitting with 108 dishes to be served in one Maharaya. And Swami will try to wiggle and try to prove that he is thinner than you. It's even more fun to just have that experience. Straight as Swami finishes his food, takes the plate of all the food that he's eaten and said prasadam. He gives it to us. And I straight away in front of Swami went and gave it to all my other colleagues who were serving food, because we were a team. Swami saw that. Bangaru. Bangaru is dangerous. I never realized that word, but I realized it much later. And he came and he gave coconut water and he said, this is for you to drink. So I drank that. And then as he walked out, all of us thought we did a student. And then Swami asked me this question, what are you studying? Engineering. And now my monkey mind won't give him no. Swami, I'm studying BSc Applied Science, which is part A, AMIE equivalent of engineering. I won't give him. Not that easy, no? So I told Swami, no, I'm studying engineering. Swami laughed and said, very happy with you boys. He was proud of us because we were all no more Balvikas. We had become pre-Sevadal. We were genuinely doing Seva in the purest sense, where Swami was just a person there and our role was serving food to the boys. Period. Nothing else. And finally, he said, Swami, everyone will go down, they'll ask, what did you get, this or that? You have given nothing. All running in your mind voice. Swami has walked down 10 steps and he walks up and says, good boys, Swami has given nothing. So Mati rises, gives us vibhuti, and all of us, he made us lick it in front of him. Because he didn't want that sign to go out, no, he wanted to have that vibhuti, all of us coming blessed with that gratification. So I'm only giving this because I'm coming to the bigger story, which is later, which is not connected to all this, because all this is preparing you for life. So my life went where it was all Swami. There were a lot of challenges along. The biggest challenge, every time that I felt I was down, 70th birthday, I didn't want to go to Prasanthi Nilayam. I was at the airport, somebody gives me a lift, and I traveled with somebody whose story I want to share more than my story. Here is a blind person. Swami called him and said, you are going to be blind tomorrow. He said, Swami, you are my eyes, so why should I be scared? He was president of one state in the Sathya Sai organization. And he was traveling with me to Prasanthi Nilayam because I was part of Ajit Popan's group Again, we were supposed to perform for Swami's 70th birthday. It never happened for different reasons. And then he tells me that when he became blind, he got the presidentship for 3 states in India. All India, state president for 3 states. He did his duties very diligently, and then one fine day Swami called him and said, "Tomorrow your eyes will come back." And there was no emotion on his face. He said, "I'm not happy." "Swami, before you took my eyes, you were my vision. When I was blind, you were my vision. When you give me sight, you are my vision. So what is the difference, Swami?" And he said, "This is a devotee." And I never realized this is what I had to face in my life, which went, I would say, my life has been blessed despite small setbacks of wonderful parents devoted to Swami, wife who was probably more devoted than I was to Swami, Balvikas that gave me all happiness. Life was too perfect. And suddenly I was feeling sad that my life was perfect. So really, remember, for people whose life is bad, they are in a different state, they want it to be perfect. When life is too perfect, you're also in a different state saying, "Hey, it's boring." And so I said, "Let me make it a bit interesting." And I was not prepared for that. So, I turned 50, wonderful celebration. One thing in my life that I liked was, all this Shashtya Prabhuti where they do all this Abhishekam and all. We have this Rudra Puja that happens on Swami's Nakshatram every month in Singapore. So that month, I was busy traveling and I didn't host the Rudra Abhishekam in my house. So Ravi Anna, who was in charge of this, says, "Venkat, 50th birthday or Nakshatra any birthday, we are going to have Rudra Abhishekam." I said, "Chalo, Swami wants to come to my house." So I actually went, I still remember, we collect a big Shirdi statue, I call it Tata. I put Tata at the back seat, put a seat belt, and says, "Tata is coming home." I was so happy, so happy. I come home, I didn't realize it was Rudra Abhishekam for him. After all that was done, I wore a Panchakacham and they did the entire Abhishekam where they put that, the thing on top, like, your 60th birthday, etc. My father poured it, my mother poured it, my wife and I were blessed for something that was never going to happen later when it was supposed to happen. A small fraction of a wish has been manifested. So finally, December 23rd, Vaikuntha Ekadasi, we were supposed to be in Singapore. I forced a holiday because my dad, from an active person, which is something that you guys can look at, service, dementia. It's a growing illness of the modern world, which is underrated, understood, and there is very often, it's worse than cancer, because cancer has got a physical death. Dementia is something that is timeless, and you see someone who's so able-bodied, who is a vegetable in front of you. Horrible experience. My dad, who was active till 75, developed it. So I forced a holiday to my wife, my children had come. My son, who was in the army, had to take a break and his leave was finishing. We forced a holiday and we went to Langkawi in Malaysia. And sometimes Swami tells you different signs. All I request you, listen to it or trust him and go. Whatever, you need both. Because sometimes a monkey mind doesn't listen to it. Sometimes when you do it, you need absolute trust. So here I am walking with my wife, where the entire journey that we conversed was how grateful we are to have Swami in our lives. How grateful we are that Bal Vikas has taught fearlessness to our children. How grateful we are that we have a Sai center where we are not related, but we are more than relations. How wonderful a Sai, a Lord we have. We walked to an island on water that was knee deep, no waves. High tide is 6 hours away. Vaikuntha Ekadasi morning, I taken my father in a sampan. He sat in. It's been the best of our holiday ever because we went with no expectation. Little did we know that it was life's preparation. So we sat down on this island, and the wife was meditating. She says, what a beautiful view of the shore. Our children had finished kayaking there. I can see my life in front of me. And I said, hey, Appa, you've told him that we are taking him to the beach. Let's walk back. And all the people who are there had already walked past, so we were two. Suddenly she felt scared. And a French guy was walking, and my wife, Rita, she said, Abad Bharvana Raksha is here. I don't know whether she said that. But that was the truth. So we were walking back, and we said, let's race. And I was probably 20, 30 steps ahead of her. And something told me, Venkat, stop. You were holding hands coming together. How dare you walk alone? I turned, I stopped, and she comes, and the conversation goes as follows. There was a Bhakti Yatra that happened last February. I'm happy with my Sai at home. My Sai is my dad. I'm not going to Bhakti. So my wife is coming and giving me a lecture. When you get the call from Prasanthi, you dare not say no. Make a promise, you will go. That's what she said. I said, why you? It should be we, right? No, it's not we, it's us. As she said it, we realized that the knee-deep water had become above our shoulders, and we were actually getting dragged into the deep sea. And neither of us are avid swimmers, so I heard about the current. I was just thinking it was exactly something like that, getting us back. And I actually know my father with dementia is in the room, my children are on the shore. Once, twice, and suddenly, I'm not a great comedy person, but I knew Swami. I said, we were not calling for help, we were saying Sai Ram. And that last moment I've been told, I named my son Vittal, you call out to the last name, and I don't want to get I don't want to be thinking like that. So I said, Swami, and I tell my wife, I wanted to play a nice test innings, looks like it's a short T20, love you, see you on the side, Sai Ram. We had accepted death, because that's all that can happen, nothing else can happen. And I was connected to what Ramana Maharshi would have felt when, the who am I question, because I'm always intrigued by the question, who am I? I want to know what will happen when the prana leaves. So both of us were calm in a storm with Sai now. Because there's nothing else to do. So that's what Draupadi did. There was no more shame, surrender, acceptance. And as I thought I would not survive, I hear the Frenchman shouting from there, 2 minutes I'll be there. 2 minutes, comedy. I can't last 2 seconds. And I said, I've done yoga and all, come on, be positive. You have to be positive in the worst of scenarios. So I calm my wife. And he comes and sees me and says, hey, you're swimming well. Yeah, I'll take your wife. I said, you leave the sand, I will sink, man, I can't swim. So we had what I would call one of the world's best videos that could have ever been taken if there was a drone, because I'm a cinematographer. And I like picturizing. We were calm. My wife was, made to lie flat. I was holding her hand, and this guy with one hand was swimming. From a moment where I did not have an iota of survival, A, I'm alive. Thank you, Swami. B, I might live. Thank you, Swami. And then there's the same kayak that my children had gone. They had come because this is an area where there's no speedboat. So when the rescue did come, my wife got onto the kayak and went in. So here I am, I'm talking to this fellow, where are you from? I'm from Rouen. I said, yeah, I've been to Le Havre, I like the beach, I like this. We were talking as if life was all made, Swami has come and finished. Little did I know what was ahead of me. I come to the beach, my wife is like, looking odd. Everyone comes and says, good news, she's alive. I said, I can see she's alive, she was talking to me. She says, Venkat, I said, yeah, ambulance, everything picture perfect. Ambulance from 25 kilometers is there by the time you are rescued. You cannot have timing better than that. You cannot. We go to the hospital, and I always carry what I call a red book, which is my Satyarita wherever I go. So my red book was in my camera bag. They said, take her wherever you are, I'm starting my Satsang. And they take her, and 30 minutes later, doctor comes and says, you can see her, she's kind of serious, we're not sure if she'll make it. I said, what the hell, you've been talking here? No, water has gone to the lungs, and it's difficult to say. They give her oxygen. 1 hour later, so by the time they said she's recovering better, it's a ladies' ward, bring some women because you cannot go to the ward. So my daughter comes from the beach, shuttled by the person. We go in, and I go and grab a dosa, and I get a call, emergency, come, you have to sign a form. What is the form? Wife is sinking, we have to put her on a ventilator. In my family, quite a few people have gone on a ventilator, and we go and read Satyarita, 7 days they are out. I said, bring it on, sign. And this guy is going and telling what all wrong can happen when my wife is saying, chalo, do it. Because for her, faith is there. Finally, after I agreed and did that, I'm going to take 10 more minutes. I can't stop somewhere. Then, 1 hour, no news. They come and say good news and bad news. What's the good news? The wife is alive. Great goodness. Thank you. Bad news, when we put the ventilator, we lost her for 40 minutes. I was going to say she's gone. But then Swami likes to give you hope. All this happened when the bhajans finished in our center in Singapore. Everybody had congregated to my house. There was Rudram going on. Everyone was telling all this. My daughter came by my side. My son was here. And I'm going to use him as an example later for something on Dalvikas. I told him, your duty is with Tata. Because I was sleeping with my father. My father is going to go berserk. You don't come and see the mother. So he didn't come and see her. Full night we said all prayers, but all night I told Swami, and I went and told Rita, if you think you have to fight, you fight. But I want to tell you, I have got nothing wrong in me. I'm perfectly fine. Because the journey of a soul is determined by the soul, not us. If you really believe in a soul. So I went and told her the next morning, I saw her being wheeled to the ICU. 9 o'clock, they called me and said, go and see her for the last time, 15 minutes, she's going to go away. I said, you must be kidding. My son has not seen her, he's 25 minutes away. At least keep the stupid machines on such that he sees some blinking stuff. As fate would have it, 15 minutes, they took it off. And he comes and he bangs the wall. He said, it's happened. He goes and he has his private moment with his mother. Then they release the body to the mortuary. I'm seeing her for the first time with no tubes. I said, what is this? Is this life? With the Sai again. And my problems didn't solve there. And that's where you see Sai in every stage. So I have my son and my daughter. Both of them are a picture of calm in a storm. And then I had two profound statements. So my son saw the mother. 11:30, he said, Appa, I'm going to see her on her final journey. My duty is to go serve lunch to Tata. I'll leave now. I'm like, I don't know what to say. He was just being himself. But that strength that you are all building up now for your sadhana is to face a moment like that. And then my problems come. So, and I didn't tell you what happened. As her life was going, that second when the doctor is walking, I'm getting a phone on my Malaysia number, which I have not shared to anybody. Sairam, brother, where are you? We are coming. Sairam, who? Sairam, we are coming. Where are you? I said, in front of ICU. As the doctor walks in like this person comes, which are a Sindhi gentleman, who is the president of the Sai sector. Sairam, I brought 3 things for you. What are the 3 things? Udi, I can understand. Vibhuti from Prasanthi, last Ganga Jalam and Tulsi. So I knew my wife's time had come, Swami said, time for you to come back to me. At that moment, and these people are there with us, and our problems start. My wife had supposedly drowned, but she came conscious. So they said post-mortem we can't release, and the body has to go to another place, and we will give the body 3 days away. And I had my father here, and no hotel rooms in Lankavi for the next 5 days. I went and told my wife and Swami, I said, Swami, tonight she is packing out from her. I don't care what you do, but she is not in Lankavi. Because I have to catch the 9 o'clock direct flight to go to Singapore. There is no flights for me to go. I don't want to be here. I have not prepared myself, but I don't care what you do. The person who was driving me from the previous day, an Indian gentleman, comes and says, Sir, you Sai devotee, sir. No. Sai devotee. So police will come, you don't speak, I will speak. So the police have to release the body, saying that she was alive, it was not a death by drowning, and she can be released, which is unheard of. These two guys speak in 5 minutes, everything done. Singapore External Affairs Department has released the letter. Now comes the next thing, death certificate, without which the body can't move. And that state had recently converted to a Sunday working. From a Friday, Friday holiday, Friday, Saturday, they started working on Sunday. And we went and got her death certificate in 5 minutes. 5 o'clock plane, she's gone. I am there in Singapore the next day. The send-off was only a prayer. And as my son was leaving the mortuary, I said, I'm sorry I went on this walk with your mother. I don't know where my sense was. Both of us should have been a bit more cautious. So he said, you've had wonderful moments to live by. If you visit that moment, your life is going to be miserable. It is for you to decide whether we live in memories of gratitude. And I'm like, I said, that is what Balvikas does to you. Fearlessness. Because everything is shaking. The whole world came down. And all of us were there as a family in Prasanthi, where I got to do Ganesha Bhajan. I wanted to always sing in Prasanthi, opening act. I wanted to sing with students, Ravi, Amme, all of them were doing the follow for us in chorus mics. Every single thing that I have asked for in life has been given if I pause and take note of the blessings that you have had. Yes, I'm still not out of it. I do not know if I will ever be out of it, but I have Him. I have Him to hold on to. So not one Parthi Yatra last year, which for time I will speak later. We sang in unison as 30 of us, where everyone, we wanted to say only one voice will be heard. And everyone came back and said, we heard one voice. 30 of us singing. That is what we wanted to go as Parthi. My children came, went back to Parthi again. This time got to speak, which is how I am here. Somebody heard me speak, and the story can always resonate because it has all the emotions of a blockbuster movie, according to me. You've got a bit of this, happiness, a bit of everything. But that is life. That is life. If life was all on ascending positive chart of Swami saved me, I've survived. I am an example of survival, but I am also the experiencer of a loss. The strength that is given is probably what my children deserve for one of us to be around. I don't know my purpose, but I have to find my purpose. So the grandma whom I spoke about, she is 99 and I met her last week and I said I'm going to go and speak. And she said, do you remember, we all have to pray for others. So the purpose of living is to pray for others. When you pray for others, you see Narayana in everything around you. When you see Narayana in everything around you, there is harmony. It should start center, it should start district, region, national, global. Then come to Prasanthi and say, Swami, you are united. That is the present of the centenary. That is the present. Until then, we are lying to ourselves saying we are devotees. Because a thought cannot arise of negativity. Even a thought cannot arise of negativity. So with that, I know we've got scheduled, I wrote short, I'll stop here, sign on.